And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Yo, 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 and away we go. Well, that's the statement that my partner, Mauro Ronaldo, always used a long time ago, but it is the Weighing In podcast coming at you, talking about the fights that are coming up. We've got a UFC, a Bellator, the PFL Challenger Series, even one. A lot of MMA going on there, my man. What's happening?
John, where's Bellator at?
What do you mean, where's Bellator?
That's right.
Baby. Hold on. I'm going to match you. Yeah.
Let's go. I love
You're way
going to
ahead
Ireland.
of me on that one.
I love going to Ireland. Ireland is it's like my second home when it comes to watching fights, man. I love it. The crowd, the energy, and all. I just love it. So that's right. Give that little honorable mention to Ireland, and especially when we out there in Dublin. Maybe we hit the little Jameson's. Nah, we'll pass on this time. Oh, but hey, I had to give a little love because I still got the glasses, and so do you, obviously.
Yep.
Well, make sure you guys go to weighinginpodcast.com. You guys hit that weighinginpodcast.com. We've got a new site with some new merch for you guys up. You guys check it out, man. We've got long sleeves, we've got hoodies, we've got crew necks, short sleeves. We've got them in all different colors as well: gray, black, white, maroon.
Coffee cups, but we need the Yetis.
Yeah, we do need to get the Yetis here, but the coffee cups are available as well. They're you know what? Check it all out, man. I'm pumped for this. We got a bunch of stuff. John said you already bought a bunch of stuff. I'm a little jealous.
I did.
I haven't got on yet and done it. I got to get some stuff for ourselves as well. But hey, go out there. There's no promo code. You guys don't have to worry about that anymore. But we are offering a discounted price up until March 1st. So this is your last week. Get in there.
That's why I did it when I did it.
Yeah, get in there. Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's fresh off the press. You guys.
See, now everyone, I don't want to listen to the comments, but I know everyone's like, oh, you get it for free. No, I paid for it.
Well, it's hard to listen to comments. You're actually supposed to read the comments, but whatever.
Oh, that's true. See, I told you I don't.
So that's why. Now I figured it all out. You can't read, so that's why you don't ever read the comments. Yeah.
Possibility.
Oh man, 80 years old. The glasses are not what they used to be. A little bit thicker, huh? Needed some thicker Coke bottles.
Thicker. They don't make them thick enough anymore.
Oh man. All right. Well, hey, but go to weighinginpodcast.com. Weighinginpodcast.com. Like I said, discounted rates are available right now. While we put this up until March 1st. Make sure you guys pick it up. And we've got it all available. We got crew necks. That's Dave's idea. Crew neck sweaters, long sleeve shirts. We have it in T-shirts. You've got, like you said, the coffee mug. We're going to be looking to add more stuff on there as well, maybe some sweats and joggers and stuff like that. But, yeah, we're going to hit this up, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and see what you guys like. Take a picture of what you guys purchase, and we will retweet, repost you guys.
Was that the word purchase? Because I may not be able to read, but you can't speak.
Okay, I want everyone to understand. Somebody, and this is because I do read the comments, someone yesterday said, why is it why is it that, like, it seems like John and Josh are just combing over all the other promotions? And I said, well, and I didn't comment, but I was thinking in my mind. And it's funny. I wish people in the comment section before they talk trash, they read the rest of the other comments. Because a lot of people in the other comments go, I always know when there's a Bellator on Saturday or there's like a UFC, a Bellator and UFC on the same night, or like they're back-to-back weekend, that we very rarely will get them until Monday morning or Sunday night. They're like, because of the traveling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you guys, we will be in you guys got to pay attention.
You were going to say London.
We're going to be in Ireland. We're going to be in Ireland. See the glasses? Ireland, okay? We don't get back until Saturday. I don't know what time I come back on Saturday. It should be about midday, though. Probably about like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. But by the time I do that, and then we watch the UFC, I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. It depends on whatever time we get back. But, hey, if the show is on Saturday night, yeah, you wouldn't get it till Monday. Well, we'll see. Maybe you guys will get it early Sunday morning. But see, we spoil you guys, man, with all this content.
Totally.
John. Man, and you know what? You know what's funny is when they yell at us on the comment section, because I read them, John. Read them. Is that when I read these comments, they're like, they forget that the material is free. They're like yelling at us like, you guys didn't do this. You guys didn't do that. I'm like, hey, Hey, I got a lot of love for you guys in the comments, man. You guys are killing it. Keep it positive, guys. We're doing the best we can.
Hey, I got one for you here real quick.
All right.
I want to put this out because this is nice when you get to actually see this. And I don't care what event it's for, but I had a guy, Rich Thuma, who listens to our podcast, and he had put out a tweet saying, going to my first Bellator MMA fights this weekend because I listened to the Real Punk and John McCarthy on the weighing in.
Nice.
So I put a thing back to him. Hey, glad to hear you're going to the fights. Let me know what your experience was like. So we do get a response. And the response was, long story short, it was amazing. Have been watching MMA for a long time, but had no idea what I was missing from seeing Bellator live until actually saw the live show. Bellator MMA does a phenomenal job putting on fights. Next time you guys are back in New England, I will be there for sure.
That's awesome.
I'm glad we have another convert coming to the shows.
Yeah, we do a bunch. The thing is, like with Bellator, right? Like I've been to, I don't know, hundreds of UFC events, and I'm sure you've been to a lot. I've been to a lot. Yeah, I've been to a lot of UFC events. For a while they were building up and doing a lot of good stuff in house. When they started doing that whole compilation of people getting knocked out and rocked and clipped. With the Irish music.
With the Who.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Okay, but then they got
Baba O'Reilly.
I think they still do it. I haven't been to one in a while.
They do it before every show.
Yeah.
Just before the actual main event.
Yeah,
main card.
Yeah, they haven't added anything though, and so it's not. I don't know. Like their in-house experience kind of got a little bit away from like the excitement of inside there. They play the music loud. They always have. But like what I really like about what Bellator's doing is for those of you guys that are not in-house or you have not been in-house yet to a live event. They're doing a lot of cool stuff on the in-house events. So, like, things you don't see on TV is really cool. So, if you guys ever get an opportunity and a chance, there's some big fights coming up. The one in San Jose is going to be freaking lit.
Unbelievable.
That's going to be crazy. And that's just the two main events that are on there. You've got Corey Anderson and Nemkov, and you've got Patricio and AJ, part 2. But Pico's on that card. They're trying to stack that card pretty damn high. So, I think
they already have.
Yeah, they already have, but they're continuing to talk. I heard Adam Piccolotti's going to potentially be on there again.
Coming back. Good for him. He needs
a quick turnaround. Yeah. So, anyways, but look, let's get into these fight cards. Let's talk a little bit. Dave, what do you got?
All right, so just on Friday night, as well as Bellator, we do have PFL and 1. So is there anything you guys want to touch on with these fight cards?
The PFL is the Challenger Series, and I know the guys that are in the main. The rest of them, I really don't know that.
Yeah.
So I can talk about Michael Lilly. I can talk about Al Salawi. Seen him at Brave. He's a good fighter. He's got talent. The real question when you look at him is the level of talent that he's competed against comparatively. Michael Lilly, very tough. Tough dude. Good stand-up game. He's got decent defensive wrestling. He doesn't really like to get to the ground that much, but he will. If you're going to beat him, it's usually going to be by decision because he is tough. Or you might get him in a submission, but this should be actually a really good fight. This should be a fight that is competitive. And I know you're going to look and see the records, and I know Michael is only like 7-6, and I don't know what Salawi is, but it's got to be somewhere around, I don't know, probably
16-3.
16-3.
Okay. I was going to say 15 and a couple losses, but he's good. I will say that it could be the toughness of Michael Lilly that gives him problems in the fact that he's not going to be able to just get rid of him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in his face. So should be a good matchup.
Dave, scroll down a little bit for me, please. So they've got Delano Taylor, Mark Martin. Both of them are 7-1. Carlos Lee Miranda is 14-3. My eyes are bad. Socrates Pierre is 12-6. Lucas Barboza 2-1, and Thomas Oswald 3-0. Now, they sound like the records are going in the right direction.
Yeah, right direction.
Looks like they've got some talent on here, like some young talent they're trying to build. But if you scroll back up to the main event, Al Salawi and Michael Lilly. Now, look, like John, you said, don't let the record fool you because, like you said, like Jason Jackson's fought Michael Lilly. These are guys that are talented. This could be a classic case of super tough, just doesn't really care who he fights and takes fights that he shouldn't take. That could just be, and we've seen, and I talked about this a little bit on the last show. You've got to like guide your career in the right direction, and make sure that you know what you're good at. Don't just let your ego get the best of you and take fights you shouldn't take. All of that being said, to go back to the PFL, and what I'm talking about is the point that I'm trying to get to. Sorry, guys, is that if you have these young talented fighters on here that you're trying to build, put a good main event on there. I'm not saying that this fight won't be a good main event, but give the crowds 2 guys from your main show, from your tournament style show, that, hey, this is something you guys should tune into. That they recognize.
Yeah.
I think if that was the one thing that I'm not going back to the Strikeforce where it's like, all about Strikeforce, but I'm saying that's the one thing they did really well with their Challenger series. They had a bunch of like relatively unknowns, but people that were championing other organizations, but they always headlined it with somebody the 2 people that were good names, or had pretty big names. Or they had a relatively unknown guy that was a champion in like other organizations fighting one of their well-known fighters, because that's how good that fighter was and should have been up there anyways. So that's the only thing I would like to see out of this, out of these Challenger series for not Bellator, but for
PFL.
For PFL. I mean, it would make a lot of sense. I like the idea of what they're doing, man. This is what Bellator, or was what Strikeforce did. Jesus, man, I'm all over the board tonight. This is what Strikeforce did.
This is what happens at 4 a.m.
Yeah, this is what happens at 4 a.m. So, but hey, this is what it is. Yeah.
The real thing to say though, and this is all these guys, all 8 fighters, because there's 4 fights. Mm-hmm. People need to understand. Look, this is an audition for them. That's the way to look at this. You are auditioning because this is your opportunity to get onto one of the bigger shows. This is your opportunity to show the PFL exactly how you fight, what you're capable of, how tough you are at times, how skilled you are, whatever it is. This is a audition. And man, you need to take it as a fan. Usually that works for you if they take it that way, because they're giving you everything they got.
Yeah.
They're putting it all out there. So this could be actually, some good fights that you get to see.
I agree. Let's get into one a little bit. There's a couple names in there that we recognize. Go ahead, John.
The first one, come on. De Ridder is a fucking monster on the ground. That dude is a stud. He's tough as hell. So that main event that they have, I've seen Abasov fight before. He is, look, coming from where he comes from and everything, he's tough. Yeah. He's got good grappling, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stop what De Ridder does. As far as De Ridder's just a guy that's got a gas tank. He can go, and man, he's good. He's a 2-division champion. He beat some good fucking guys. He
beat Ong Song Long, I think is how you say his name. Yeah, he beat him for the title. I mean, and it's just he's talented. I agree with you. Like he's got good cardio. He pushes the pace. Once he gets the takedown, you're pretty much stuck. I mean, he's one of those guys that will grind you out. Now, the one thing I'll say is that there's not a ton of striking going on the ground. He's got to be a little more. He's got to open up a little bit more.
I'll agree with you.
He will threaten the striking, but he's got to open up a little bit more to force the positions. I think to make them move more to get to the finishes. So, but overall, he's a fantastic fighter.
Tough dude. Yeah, a lot of skills. So
scroll down. There's a couple people we're going to give some honorable mentions to that are on the prelims. So Ong Long Song. I'm sorry, guys. I'm horrible at this. Against Vitaly Badash, Big Dosh. And look, Ong is the former champion. He was the former champion at heavyweight and at 205. I think he needed to go back to the well a little bit and reinvent himself. I also think that he kind of was going through some, I don't want to say contract issues, but something was going on during the COVID situation where he was having a little bit of a time with, I think, one. And a lot of fighters were, because Singapore was one of the most locked down places in the world. Yeah. When it came to the COVID situation and then to get in, the requirements, all that stuff. Now they do shows elsewhere, but I can't recall, to be honest, if they were able to do shows anywhere else but Singapore during that time. Because majority of the places they did them was in Asia. So where they would do it in Kuala Lumpur, they would do it in Manila, they would do it in Beijing. Shanghai, wherever it is that they could do it. You know, that most of those locations were locked down pretty bad. So I'd like to see him stay a little bit more active. I know that, you know, him fighting in 2 weight classes, like John, we've talked about this before. It's almost like fighting in not quite as bad as fighting in 2 sports, but your weight going up and down. And we said that to Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader was a heavyweight champ, then he was a 205 champ. And we're like, what are you doing? Just stay at one weight class you feel the best at. Now he's back at heavyweight. He looked way better at heavyweight than he ever did at 205. Ever did at 205. And so I think he's always had a problem, you know, guys like Bader and have always had a problem with the speed, you know, guys that are fast. And him going up to heavyweight, didn't have to really worry about that. He's a more explosive fighter, and it worked for him. Now, Ong just needs to I think, pick a weight class, stay at it. And if he does, I think he'll be able to stay successful. I like him a lot. He's a super nice guy. If you guys have ever get a chance to talk to him, and he walks past, like, just grab him and say hi. He's such a nice guy.
Also have David Branch fighting in this card. Mm-hmm. David was the 2-division champion from the World Series of Fighting, which is now the PFL. Mm-hmm. So he had I believe the middleweight and the light heavyweight belt. You know, it's getting a little bit older. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to sit there and say he had a little stint in the UFC. Took some hard losses. Had a hard loss against like Luke Rockhold and things. But look, he can still fight. He's fighting a guy, Leandro Atides, who's good on the ground, but so is David Branch. Leandro's pretty smooth in the stand-up, but I think David's got a good chance of walking away with a win on this one. This is a good fight for him, but he needs this kind of fight, in my opinion, to get to that where he's feeling and looking good. And
then I'm going to give a little honorable mention to Yuri Simone's. He's just a teammate of mine. I'm going to be a little biased, as much as you guys know. I don't know anything about the guy he's fighting either. The guy he's fighting is 7-0, and Yuri is 0-1. Now, Yuri is
That's not
strictly
good.
No, Yuri is strictly jiu-jitsu. His striking has come a long way, but it's not at the level of like a guy who is 7-0. Now, maybe this guy is 7-0 is just strictly wrestling. Like I said, I don't know anything about him. Yuri is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world. Like when I talk about, I put him right there in that Marcus Buchecha, Andre Galvao, kind of like in that mix. He's really good.
Phenomenal. But his stand-up has been horrible.
His stand-up is not, but it's come a long way, John.
I'm not saying it hasn't, but when his first, you look and you go,
oh, yeah.
It's going back in time, man.
Yeah, it is. It's come a long way, but here's the thing. You can really look good on the mitts. You can really look good on the bag. You can kind of look good in sparring with people you train with. But when the fight happens, the real fight,
and you get cracked for real,
you get little gloves on, you get cracked. You say you get cracked for real. It changes things. It changes the way you think. So, I think that his thing is he's got good cardio. He's always in shape. You know, he's dieted down. I think this is probably at 205. Yeah, light heavyweight. Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight. He's fight a heavyweight. You said compete at heavyweight, I mean. And so now he's down to 205. He's good, man, on the ground. He's really good. So
there's no question about his ground.
I kind of like what they're doing. They signed Gordon Ryan, and they signed Yuri Simone. They signed Marcus Buchecha. They've got a lot of good jiu-jitsu guys. They've got Gary Tonin, I believe, is with them as well. So they've got all these guys that are on their roster that are just really talented jiu-jitsu guys. They must be paying the shit out of these guys, John. You know, I'm like, damn. But, there's a lot of good fighters on there that in one that are really good grapplers that just need to work on their striking. So, but good luck to the one promotion.
Really?
Wow.
For those of you guys not watching, I just yawned.
4 a.m.
All right. Let's go. Bellator 275.
We're going to Ireland. Let's talk about it real quick.
Real quick. All right, let's go.
Look at the main event is a good one. Anytime you get a chance to see Gegard Mousasi, you're crazy if you don't watch. This guy is one of the best fighters of all time, no doubt. He is just Take a look at the record. 48 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, and we're talking that's against anybody. He fought heavyweight. He's fought light heavyweight. He's been a champion at light heavyweight. He's the champion at middleweight. The guy is a phenomenal MMA fighter. His stand-up is clean, crisp. Look at what he did to Rory McDonald on the feet when he fought Rory. I mean, he made Rory look like Rory had never freaking sparred before. His jab fucking lit him up. He was way faster, which was, Rory coming up in weight from welterweight. You wouldn't think the speed was going to be in Gegard's corner. It was. His ground game is phenomenal. Rafael Lovato Jr. is as good of a jiu-jitsu practitioner as you will find. And he was shocked by how good Gegard was on the ground. He goes, I thought I would just dominate him. He goes, man, that guy is, I couldn't get things. I would be looking for something, think I have it, and all of a sudden, nope. He said, so Austin, tough, great wrestling, very strong, trains with a bunch of killers, is really confident right now, has never been beaten. He's going up against the very best fighter he has ever faced, and the problem for him is going to be this: 5 rounds. He's got to make this thing happen for 5 rounds because he's going to have a hard time getting rid of Gegard. People don't get rid of Gegard. It's the very rare person that has been able to, hurt Gegard and get rid of him. You can go back a long time. Hall did it when, Gegard was just lighting him up and hit him with a spinning kick and ended up with the big win. Then he got rematched, turned out for Gegard. But Austin has got the ability to try to keep this fight where he wants on the feet. He's not as slick as Gegard, and he's not going to be as good. He may have power, but technique-wise, Gegard's just way more technical. He's going to be very hard for Austin to hit. Can he take him to the ground? Yes, he can. And many guys have, and they find out when they go to the ground with him, hell, I can't touch him. And then he ends up reversing the position, and things get really bad for him. So Austin's in for a tough one. 11-0 record, that is phenomenal. This is by far his toughest fight.
Yeah, you said the right thing there, John. He's going to have a hard time hitting him on the feet. Gegard's one of the best at being just right outside your range.
Yeah.
Okay, and then on top of that, he's going to make you miss. He's going to make you pay. So as you reach and you miss, he's going to make you pay right after that. He's going to either hit you with a knee, a kick, some sort of jab. He'll hit you with a quick combination and circle off. He's very good at keeping his back off the fence. Also, too, when you shoot on him, and let's say you do get the takedown, he's good at putting his back to the fence and kind of getting himself back up. Rafael Lovato Jr. talked about that a lot, saying, man, I had him down several times. He was able to kind of wiggle himself back up to his feet. I had to keep taking him down. If you look at that fight, Lovato Jr. was dominating the first 2 rounds, but in that 3rd round, he got exhausted.
And he got freaking worked.
And that was my next transition. What you don't want to be is underneath Gegard Mousasi. If you are underneath him, his ground and pound and his hip pressure, he's got that big dick energy. And he just brings the hip pressure. He gets on top. You look at guys like Cavallo, Cavallo, whatever his name is. He won, he won the title from. He just dominated, got the takedown, got to the top position, just dominated the top position. You see him on top of guys like Lovato Jr. He had a hard time with getting out from underneath Lovato Jr. But what Lovato Jr. was talking about, and I read a couple of the things and I talked to him a little bit about as well, is that Gegard has a really good hook. He's got that hook sweep, that little bit of that TK guard. So he's got the butterfly guard. And he just can't seem to get past that one hook. You think you're past, but you're not. He puts you back in, and then if he can do that to Lovato Jr., he's going to be able to do that to Austin Vanderford. Now, Austin's got to make sure that he doesn't – he's going to go ahead and open up a little bit, but he's got to make sure he doesn't leave himself out of position because like you said, and we both said this, you don't want to end up on bottom because that hip pressure, that ground and pound, you go back and you guys watch the end of the 3rd round against Lovato Jr., that was nasty, and it's happened to countless people. Don't forget that Gegard's fought heavyweights, okay? Doesn't he have a win over Mark Hunt?
Oh, yeah.
He's got a win over Mark Hunt. He's fought at 205. He's fought some really tough guys at 205.
He was the Strikeforce champion at 205.
Dream champion
at 205.
That's right. I forgot. He's the Dream Champion at 205 as well.
And middleweight.
The middleweight champion at Dream also?
Maybe it was just middleweight. I could be wrong.
Then he's the 185 pound champ at Bellator. Look, he's good. He's been good everywhere he's gone. I mean, he is getting a little bit older in age at 36, but he has that Fedor-esque about him. Kind of that he's got that stoic personality. It just kind of comes in, doesn't show too much, doesn't show a lot of energy. That's what we call big dick energy. And he just comes out there and puts it on you, man. That Fedor type stuff, and he's talented, he's good, but I'm not gonna give the edge to Austin, but I'm gonna say that the conditioning and the cardio, Austin will be able to wrestle for 5 rounds. We saw it against Fabian Edwards in the 3-round fight, but he'll be able to wrestle. Now, it may get a little sloppy at times. He's got to be careful, though, because he sometimes lunges in so much with his punches that he just shoots from that distance, and he's got to be careful he don't get hit with a big shot. The knees up the middles, the uppercuts, or even the wrestling and the snap downs and the takedown defense that Gegard has, it's all there. But Austin's one way of winning this fight, which I believe, is for him to get this takedown. And when he gets his takedown, he's got to let it loose on the elbows and the striking, because he can't afford to just keep playing it safe down there. Gegard does have a tendency to get tired and slow down as the fight goes on, as he did against Lovato Jr. But the thing is, though, he's always there. He's always there. He's always in that range.
That's because of his experience and who he is.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, let's just be honest. You're right. I agree with you. Austin, first off, he cannot end up underneath.
No.
That is, even if you've got to, take a chance in getting yourself up, you got to get up. You cannot stay there. But with when you're in the top position, if you're Vanderford, you have got to do damage, because the more damage you do to him, the more he does tend to tire and slow down in what he's doing, and that's going to be your difference maker. If you go and you get on top of him and you just control and you don't do damage, he's going to come out in the second round. That takedown that worked for you in the first one is not going to work for you in the second. He's great at adjustments, and things are going to start to go downhill.
Yeah. I want this to be a good fight.
Oh,
I really do.
I think it will be. I think I've been very impressed with everything that Austin has done. Because he's come in, he's gone against good talent. He's gone against, in the beginning, they gave him a couple fights, and then they started putting, better talent against him. He's handled it all well. He handles when he gets hurt well. He's been cut big, doesn't let it affect him. He just keeps moving forward. And his physical strength, he's a strong bitch.
Yeah.
He can manhandle guys, and because he used to fight at 170.
Yeah.
And we talked to him. And he said, "Why are you trying to kill yourself to get down there? You're physically, as far as his structure, it's not that he's so big as far as his frame, but the muscle mass that he carries, he's got a lot, and that's part of what makes him who he is. That power, that explosiveness, and so." Don't take away from it. The speed will actually increase going up into that 185. The strength will still be there. And, I think he's been performing better at the 185 than he was at the 170. So
yeah, he's barrel chested. He's got good cardio.
Oh,
he's,
man.
He's strong
thick
as
everywhere.
heck. Yeah, he's okay, John.
I'm not. First off, you see, you're going back to your big dick energy.
Big dick energy. That's great. Oh man. Look, overall, I think it's going to be a fun fight. Style contrast, that type of thing. So it should be a good fight. Scroll down a little bit there, Dave.
Lee McCourt against Sinead Kavanaugh. Look, Sinead's coming off of a loss that she really thought she was going to get a win against Chris Cyborg. It didn't happen for her. She got her orbital broken, I believe, in that fight, but she's healed up. Lee McCourt undefeated, but in my opinion, you got to she's 6-1. I'm sorry, not undefeated. 6-1 for Lee McCourt, but man, this is almost like a teammate. It's a weird situation because they both, but they train at different SBGs. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that Sinead goes out there and she will throw. Now McCourt on the ground is better. Kavanaugh on her feet is better. This is going to be who gets the fight or who keeps the fight where they need it to be.
Got it. Yeah. I love Leah McCourt. She's a sweetheart, but it really comes down to she's got to get this fight to the ground. If she doesn't get this fight to the ground, it's not going to be a good night for her. Sinead Kavanaugh is coming off that loss to Cyborg, but the thing is, though, is that she's going to come out and try to, like, stamp her name back into the Ireland scene and just be like, hey, just because I lost, I'm here still. And so it's going to be one of those fights where Leah's got to get to the clinch, try to use her judo to get it to the ground, which she's got good judo. She's got good hip tosses. But when she does these throws, though, she sometimes leaves herself out of position. And that scares me a little bit as well. But she's got the long limbs, for someone who fights at featherweight. She seems pretty tall and long and lanky the way that she fights. She's got good triangles, good arm bars. But she also sometimes will hold on to the submission a little bit too long and leave herself out of position after that, and that's not what she wants to do. She doesn't want to end up back into a scramble or getting, or then back onto the feet. If she gets this takedown, she's got to keep Sinead down on the ground. But she's tough, man. She's a dog. She's going to take a couple of shots to give a shot, and she did that against Cyborg. She delivered some big shots against Cyborg. Yeah. She clipped Cyborg. Oh, yeah, just Cyborg got there a little bit faster on the third shot, and that's really what it came down to. Leah's got her hands full. This is going to be definitely her toughest task to date.
Yeah. Ciaran Clark going against Tankara. Good fight. Clark is I really like that he stays with where he is strong. This kid can roll. His jiu-jitsu is good. He's got a great submission game. He's tough as hell, so that's a great fight. But the one I'm looking forward to is going to be Hassan Magomed Sharapov, the younger brother of Zabit Magomed Sharapov. That's a good fight. I've watched Jose Sanchez fight. He's got an 11-1 record. He's tough. He's good.
10-1.
What's that?
10-1.
No, he's 11-1. He's 11-1.
Who's it?
I've got his record. I've already done work on him. I don't care what that says.
Okay.
He's 11-1. But he.
Sorry, John.
No, sorry. It's he's good. I don't think he can handle everything that Hassan brings, though. It's that full game that you look at that they have, and Hassan is very much like Zabit, tall, long, lanky, as you like to say, and a good wrestler, and a good submission guy, and a good stand-up fighter. There's not a whole lot of room for you to catch this guy in an area where he's not solid.
Hassan is good. He will mix this thing up every which way. When you get comfortable on the feet, he'll throw something to get you to the ground. When you're comfortable on the ground, he'll back out and he'll just start letting it go on the feet. Yep. He'll keep you guessing the whole time. He's a lot like his brother. I wasn't overly impressed with him, I think, his first fight in Bellator, but his second fight, he really took me by surprise. He had some good stuff, I think, in that first fight. But it was like, okay, I was expecting, but how young is he? He's like 22?
He's really young.
He's a baby, I believe. Click on Hassan. I think he's like 22, maybe. Maybe he's older. Hassan, up.
I was thinking 23, 24.
Obviously, you weren't following along.
My God. You've gone to every name but his, Dave. There you go.
Oh, because I was looking for the last name.
Jesus, your whole job is to take a mouse and hit something.
He's 21.
Josh needs to learn.
21.
Yeah. 21 years of age. Yep. We got a bunch of them. There's a bunch in Bellator. It's amazing. You look and you go, my God, he's a baby. But
yeah. Yep. Makes me feel old. Yeah, he's 6-0. You
know why?
Very talented.
Because you are.
Yes, this is true. 6-0. I mean, he's got 2 KOs / 3 submissions, 1 decision. I mean, he's a finisher. At 6-0, he's got several finishes. He's good, man. He's just good all the way around. And they take care of themselves. They always try to add new tools. You'll see something new every time. And the more comfortable he gets in that Bellator cage, the more we're going to see out of him. Yep. So I'm pumped for that. Next fight.
The one that is the one that I'm looking forward to, it's the one that starts the card. Brian Moore, who I call the Irish Canelo. He's got just very good stand-up. When he's rolling, he's tough to beat, but he's going against Jornel Lugo, who is the next evolution. Jornel's a guy, he can do it all, man, and he's slick. You talk about getting out of range, having someone think that they can touch you and just slipping out of range, and as that strike reaches its just crescendo, it's just Yeah, it's a half
Big
inch
word,
from you,
buddy.
and
Big word.
he steps forward and blasts his opponent. His counters are beautiful. His footwork is beautiful. This guy is like watching a high level dancer inside of the cage, man. He is smooth. He is good. I love watching Lugo fight.
Yeah, when I hit my crescendo too, though,
Your crescendos are completely different, dude.
Yeah, we can't say enough about Jornal Lugo. He's talented. He's fast. He's athletic. He's got good stand up. He's not bad on the ground. He's got great transitions. He's good. He's just good everywhere. You know, he mixes it up very, very well. And every fight he gets a little bit better, and that's what you want to see from your young talent. Brian Moore, he's just as good. I'm saying, but he's got good takedown defense. He's got good boxing. We talk about it all the time. It's boxing. But in terms of the tools which Jornal Lugo is going to use, all of the weapons and the tools, Brian Moore tends to stick in that boxing range, try to stuff the takedowns, and doesn't try to get outside that box. You know, the kicking sometimes is there, but he doesn't kick as much as he could or should. You know, he just relies strictly on his hands. And sometimes we've seen him just chasing after people, trying to land the boxing shot. Well, mix it up. Maybe throw in a takedown or two, or attempt a takedown attempt. Make them think about other things. Sometimes you get stuck in that rut chasing him around. So he's going to have a hard time catching Jornal Lugo.
Yeah. Anything on the prelims that you're looking at?
I mean, Charlie's a zombie Leary.
Oh, he's a zombie, dude. But that's a great fight because Davy Gaillon, Gallon is if you're American. Davy Gaillon, this guy he's really come into his own. He's the guy that had the big Rolling Thunder knockout against Ross Pearson, if you remember.
Yes, I do.
Just starched him with it. And he's come into Bellator. He's had several very good fights, good wins. He's fighting tough people. And we know that Charlie is, as we say, a zombie. He just keeps coming forward. He takes shots to give shots. There is no quit in him. So I think that's going to be a good matchup, one to watch, that both guys, talented by, Gaillon, and just tough as nails with Charles Leary. So,
well, we're gonna see how this all plays out. I mean, but yeah, that'll wrap up. Charlie Leary is gonna just keep walking forward.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna take some shots in the first round. He's gonna look like he's probably out of the fight, and then the second and third round, he's probably gonna finish him. That's kind of like Charlie Leary's MO. He just keeps walking him down, I'm trying to think of other fighters that were like that. Scott Smith.
Oh my God. There's a ton of guys.
Scott Smith.
Tony Lopez. Do you remember Tony Lopez?
Holy cow, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
God, it's so many fights.
Yeah.
Tony Lopez was just a guy, man. He would take shots and just keep coming forward and eventually just wear his opponent down after taking hellacious shots, and just he'd wear him out and beat him down. Yep. Tony, the Kryptonite Lopez. Look at that record, 64-33.
Yep.
He's had almost 100 fights and won no contest. I remember him.
He fought Trevor Prangley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trevor subbed him.
He might have.
Maybe went the distance, but I think Trevor.
I'll tell you what, that dude has fought. He fought at heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. He would fight anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Trevor fought him at heavyweight. Trevor's like, but then we showed up and Trevor didn't even know it was a 5-round fight. That's happened a couple times to Trevor. I'm like,
it's kind of saying something when it happens more than once.
Yeah.
It may not be the promoter screwing Trevor. It just may be that Trevor doesn't listen.
Trevor doesn't pay attention to the details. He's like, the contract I signed. Oh, shit, it did say 5.
Oh, shit.
All right, Dave. Well, hey, let's get into some UFC.
Let's go.
Let's look at that.
We're going to argue about this one.
There's nothing to argue about.
You're right. There isn't.
He's not.
So you need to stop. We know how confident you are in that statement. Coward.
Look, John, you know as well as I know. I know. Stop doing it. Stop doing it just for our show, okay? Stop trying to put me on the spot because everyone knows I don't bet on my friends. I've made it very clear I do not bet on my friends.
Quit making excuses.
I don't bet on my friends,
weak.
Man. It's bad luck. Okay. Here we go. MyBookie.ag. Using that promo code weighing in. John and I had some good selections last week and the weekend before when the Super Bowl was around. We are coming in hot. as always, we've got a lot of good fights that are coming up. You guys got to listen to us. Take our advice. We can make you some money at mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. And I'm just going to be honest. John and I have been on point. So you've got not just those fights, though. I know you take our advice for fights, but take our advice on a little bit of other things. John's been around for almost 80 years. I'm telling you guys right now. He understands the sport of football, sport of basketball, sport of tennis, water polo, all of these things that you can bet on. Big John is one of those guys. He's been around since the conception of these sports. So he understands how to bet on them. He knows what to do. Go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. Telling you guys right now, you guys will be happy. There's a little QR code right over there. The Big Dave now. Podcast Dave is going to put up. There's a QR code right over there. You guys click that link. That'll give you a little extra spending cash for your first initial buy-in. Remember what I just said? I said your first initial buy-in will get you a little extra spending cash if you use that QR code. Use our promo code weighing in. I'm telling you guys right now, we can make you guys some money. So go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in.
Is it bad juju?
No, it is bad juju. There's just no way of looking at. There's no way. If I was to bet on Islam, something bad would happen. I don't bet on my friends, man. I've learned this over the years. I've actually had people call and say, "Hey, will you place a bet for me?" Like on one of my friends. I'm like, no. Yeah, I had some friends call me from San Jose when I was in Vegas. Mike Kyle was fighting, and someone's like, "Hey, I want to bet on so and so to beat Mike Kyle." I was like, I ain't doing it, man. Nope. That ain't me. I don't bet against my friends. I don't bet on my friends. I don't do either one of them. As much as I was like, there was a moment there where I was like, you know what? I am gonna take this bet, John. And then I'm like, Josh, you would just be cursing him right now if you did. So, look, you guys. I read the comments. I read all you salty people in the comments talking to me. Like, oh, because Bobby beat you.
So what'd they say? What'd they say?
That I lost to Bobby, that I'm salty and this and that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
My God.
You're a hater now. I like that.
I'm not a hater.
No,
if you guys
Bobby
go
Green
back
lover,
and listen,
man.
I'm a Bobby Green lover, man. I mean, like, I don't want to get too much into it because then, it sounds a little strange.
Whatever.
But,
it's okay.
Look,
lips
I
are
love
lips
me
and
some
hips
Bobby
are
Green.
hips. It doesn't matter, baby.
I've never heard that. That was pretty good. Jeez, John, we got to get to your own comedy show. This is great. No, Bobby Green's absolutely amazing. He's great on the feet. He's the only guy in the sport that does the Mayweather tuck and roll with the shoulders and does it effectively. Other people have tried and normally ends up being knocked out. This kid is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And look, I'm not going to I won't even go in to tune Islam's horn about how good he is and this and that. Look, everyone knows how I feel about him. He's super talented. We know that. But people underestimate his stand-up. They're like, oh, they look at the one fight that he lost. I'm like, oh, he's chinny, or like his stand-up's not that good. His stand-up's really good. He's southpaw stance. His stand-up's good. His kicks are fast. I went into the comment sections, and everyone's like, oh, Bobby's gonna piece him up on the feet. I even read, Dave, can you pull this up? Michael Bisping said something about, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Green puts it on him.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on. Let's just be honest. Michael, he's got to try to build the fight. He works for the
Yes, he does.
And so I understand why he's doing that. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a last-minute replacement. He's got to sell it to the crowd. He's got to sell it to his audience that, hey, you should still watch this fight. And I agree. I think you should still watch this fight.
You should. It's going to be a fun fight.
But to all the casuals at home,
it will definitely go past a round and a half. To put that in there.
Oh man! As much as I would love to bet you, I just can't. I don't bet against my friend. I don't bet for my friends either. I just don't bet on my friends. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're scared." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm scared. I might jinx him." That's what I'm scared of.
The bad juju. Yeah. I believe in it.
But Bobby Green is extremely talented. He's got fast hips. He's got good wrestling. He's got the way his striking is set up. He fights good wrestlers in a very good way, because the reason being is that the way he blades himself, the way he stands off, the way he shoulder rolls, like you said, his hands are down, so it makes it easier for him to lift and get the underhooks. For me, it's the strength. It's the strength factor in that position. I've seen these guys, when they lash themselves on a single leg, they just suck it up and they're able to dump you. How many times have you seen Khabib? How many times have you seen Islam shoot a bad shot and they still get the takedown? And that's kind of where I'm at in this situation where it's not that I think Bobby Green is not talented or Bobby Green can't hang. I think Bobby Green can hang just fine. I just think when it comes down to like once he grabs a hold of that leg, he's going to go for a ride. Now, can he get up after that? Bobby's extremely talented. He's very,
he's slippery on the ground.
Yeah, he's slippery on the ground. I want to say without saying it sound like he was cheating or something, but no, he's very elusive in terms of being able to get up back to the fence and be able to get back up. But we've seen not just Khabib and Islam, we've seen a lot of these Dagestan style fighters and these Dagestan. Once you get taken down, a lot of them have the type of control that you just can't get up from. And I'm not here to toot, Khabib and Islam's horn. It's just, it really comes down. All Dagestan fighters have this thing, John. You know that.
Yeah.
But you're still going to be wrong.
Look, this is my point. There's no doubt in my mind that if they get into clinching situations up against the cage, I think Bobby's at a deficit against Islam. He's at a deficit because Islam's got some really beautiful, sweet, his inside and outside trips, his sweeps with his feet, just the way that he'll upset your balance, then bring you backside. He's slick, super slick. On the outside shooting in, that is not a good way for Islam to get Bobby down. He's going to have nothing but trouble. And he could eat shots doing that. So I look at it that each guy has their things. I know that Islam is good in the stand-up, but he is half, and I mean this, half as confident in his stand-up as he is in his ground. He's also half as confident in his stand-up as Bobby Green is in his. Bobby believes in his stand-up. Bobby will fight anybody. And when you're fighting guys like, Fazeev, and you're standing with them the entire time, never even trying takedowns.
Venata.
Okay? All of that tells you how confident Bobby is in the stand-up. He's good. And I absolutely know how good Islam is. But this is not an easy fight for Islam. A lot of people are saying, oh, he got an easy one compared to what he was going to fight, because he was going to fight RDA, and that was going to be the fight that was
Dariush.
I'm sorry, Dariush, and that was going to be the fight. Dariush is a completely different fighter than Bobby Green. He has been put in with a guy that, man, he's got to change his entire thing as far as how he's going to approach this fight. This is not an easy switch for Islam. I know that Islam and his coaches believe, hey, we've got this, and they should, but it's not going to be an easy fight, and it will definitely go past a round and a half, which was what I was trying to bet you on, and it's okay that you don't bet me, but this fight's going to go a ways. It's going to be tough. I love Islam, but he's been in with guys that are not as good as Bobby Green, and they've gone a lot longer than the round and a half. I think Islam is the favorite, no doubt about it. But Bobby Green could pull an upset in this. He could. Now, the biggest difference is he's got to keep piecing Islam up for 5 rounds, because I don't think his power is enough to put Islam out. I just don't. I think Islam will be there the entire time, and that's 5 rounds of having to stay away from the grappling and the top pressure and submission game of Islam. Not easy to do.
The one thing that concerns me, this is the biggest thing that concerns me with Bobby Green, is that when he strikes, he tends to slide off, turn the corners and slide off line. He doesn't stay directly in front of you.
That's true.
If Islam thinks that he is going to just throw shots coming in straight, that Bobby Green's going to be there, he's not going to be there. Like, Bobby Green's going to try to roll underneath the combination and try to come out on the side like a boxer.
Yep.
But I think that Islam may have a little bit of a hard time with that at first. And then I think when they come back to the corner that they may fix it. But will that have an effect in the first round when they're still kind of fresh and Bobby still has that type of power before a first takedown? Will that be effective? I just think that Islam's going to be able to, with the strength, he's going to be able to lift him, take him, whether it's a body lock or whether he shoots in on a single leg. We've seen him in fights, shoot not great shots and just suck them up, lift and take down. And if he sucks you up, doesn't mean that you got to lift and take down. He can suck you up, go right to the body lock. Use that single leg to get to the body lock, and then the takedown happens. it makes for an interesting fight, to be honest. Coming in on short notice, a different style of contrast. When people take the Dariush fight, Dariush leaves himself out of position all the time. Bobby Green does not. Bobby Green slowly walks you down and rolls with the shoulders and keeps his hands down so he looks like he's out of position, but he's not out of position. He's ready to defend.
There. Yep.
He's ready to defend with the one hand down and the right hand up. So if you try to head kick him on that side, he's always ready. He doesn't really leave himself out of position. Dariush will fight reckless abandonment, leave himself out of position all the time.
Absolutely.
And that makes it easier for guys like Islam to get in on the body lock and get the takedown, or to hit a double leg or a single leg and lift and take you down, or even hit you with some sort of combination. He leaves himself out of position all the time. Bobby Green will walk you down with tight technique. I just think that the strength factor will be a big factor in this fight once they start locking horns and getting in the mix.
I know a lot of people are going to be, here. See, I don't read the comments, but I'm sure in the comments it'll be, oh, he's got power. He knocked out, Iaquinta. I don't think Al was the raging Al of the past and wasn't quite prepared for that fight. He did knock him out. Well, he knocked him down and then got ground and pound for a stoppage. But if you look at Bobby's record, it's mostly decision wins, because he just pieces people up. He just doesn't have that awe-inspiring one-shot power. And Islam he got put out the one time. He's got a good chin. He's tough. So it's good. It's a good matchup. I really, and like I said before, I think that the UFC did a great job in fixing this when Beneil ended up having to pull out. I think they did the best thing they could in bringing a good fight for Islam, one that people will enjoy watching.
Yeah. I fought Bobby. Bobby doesn't have crack power. He doesn't have that like one crunch. Yep. Okay, and it's nothing against him. And like I said, if you guys go back and listen to a lot of our shows every time Bobby's fought, I'm a freaking huge fan. Okay, what you guys got to remember, anyone that I've shared the cage with, okay, I've got nothing but respect for every single one of them. It doesn't matter. Clay Guida and I had a little beef a little bit after we fought. Because I thought he had hair gel in his hair, or hairspray or gel or whatever.
He had gel.
And as we got sweaty, I thought he greased. And they made rule changes after that. After the Diego Sanchez, Nick Diaz fight, I think it was, and then my fight. They made changes. You can't have product and stuff in your hair. There's just things that happened during the times that we were coming up.
We learned.
But outside of the Clay Guida fight, there's not a single person that I've ever shared the cage with that I don't have a ton of respect for. And every time they fight, if they are still fighting, I will give them nothing but love. And in this case and scenario, I've given you guys my honest opinion how Bobby Green has a chance and opportunity to win, and I give my honest opinion how I feel Islam has the opportunity and chance to win. Now, this comes with the era of it all. Islam is 29, maybe 30 years old, and Bobby Green's 36 years old. Right around that time is when it's hard to get those wins against those young guys. Yeah, he's 30. And so Islam is peaking at his prime, and Bobby is
35. That's what I thought. 35 for Bobby.
Bobby's been getting really good. He's continuously getting better. He's a talented fighter. But when I fought Bobby and I've trained with Islam, I'm going to give the favor. And there's no homer. I'm going to give the favor in terms of if each one can implement their game plan, they will win. That's the way this game goes. John, that doesn't matter who you are fighting. No. Bobby Green can keep this fight on the feet. His chances rise significantly. But it's still going to even be a close fight, even on the feet.
Yes.
And then if it hits the ground, it's going to be all Islam.
Yes, I agree.
I think it's going to be all Islam.
Look at that.
So
that hurts.
Submission, in submission-wise, though, like submission and ground control and ground and pound, all of those situations and scenario, I give to Islam once it hits the ground. So, all right, let's talk about the next fight, because I think people are probably tired of hearing me talk about it.
Misha Cirkunov against Wellington Turman. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Misha, because I've known him since before he was in the UFC. Been watching him. You're talking about a dude just super strong, just a beast. At 185, he tends to, in my opinion, cut too much weight. Wellington, 185 is the perfect weight class for him. He's strong. He's got a good ground game. Both of them have decent stand-up. This is going to end up being who is the guy that basically controls the clinch. This is going to end up in the clinch. This is going to be, they're going to have to work off of the clinch for the takedowns and stuff. Misha's explosive, but he's open to be hit, and Wellington has the ability to do that. But it should be a well-matched fight. I just don't know which way it's going to go. Again, both have very good ground games. Both of them, good submissions. I will tell you, Misha is just Donkey Kong strong. He is a monster when it comes to the strength. He will overpower Wellington in the beginning. But it's after the first round and a half, it's gone. So we'll see.
Yeah, I have a question. In the Priscilla, how do you say her last name?
Cachoeira.
Cachoeira. Okay.
Cachoeira.
Is she the one that was putting the fingers in the eye?
She's the eye gouger. She's going to be known forever. I'm sorry.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes one thing like that to get you.
Yep.
You're like, oh, crap.
She will be known as the eye gouger forever.
She's talented. She's good. She just made a mistake in that fight, and she just was gung-ho on trying to escape out of that. And pat the hands away, do whatever, but people are going to remember that for a long time. And and then tons of people talked about it, not just, but all the people that do podcasts.
That's because when you see someone that you can look at and say, they are openly cheating, openly trying to break the rules, do something that's just dirty, nasty. Everyone knows you can't do that, to try to get out of something. It's like, no one's going to like it. You're not going to have anybody, Gillian Robertson had that choke, and she's reaching back there trying to stick her fingers or thumb in Jillian's eyes. No one's going to sit there and go, oh, hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I say that all the time. No, that's the kind of cheating. No, sorry.
Yeah. Like grabbing the fence to keep your balance for a second, then letting go. That's kind of cheating we're talking about.
That's cheating. Okay.
And then Arman Sarukian, he had a good fight. He had a good fight against Islam a while back.
He's tough on this dude. He's good everywhere.
He's got good takedown defense too.
Yeah.
He's good takedown defense. He's good on the feet. He's got that barrel chested. He's just he looks physically really strong. Extremely good fighter. Extremely good fighter. I don't know much about Joe Alvarez, so
he's good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a darn good fighter. But at this point right now, to me, look, Sarukian he's got it all. He's got the ability to go in there and fight with anyone. I mean, his only loss is way early in his career. I know. Well, I'm sorry, he lost to Islam also. So he's got 2 losses early in his career, and then probably 3 years ago, maybe 4.
He doesn't have a loss.
No, you're on the wrong guy. That's why.
You said
Sarukian.
Sarukian. What are you doing?
Petrosian.
Oh.
Dave, you're 0 for 2 today, buddy.
No, Sarukian beat Islam, didn't he?
No, he lost to him.
That's what I meant.
You're still on the wrong.
I screwed it up again. I mean, he fought him, but he lost to him.
Yes. He lost to Islam.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was a good fight.
It was a decision, right?
Yeah, it was a decision, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, look at you! Finally pulled it up. Islam, yeah. Okay. Wow, Dave.
Today. Dave's struggling today.
Hey, it's also 4 a.m.
No,
for
it's
me.
not. It's not 6 a.m. for you, you liar.
It's not 4 a.m. for you.
You can't see me yawning.
That's 4 a.m. for me. It's not 4 a.m. for you.
6 a.m. That's
Feels like
2 hours more of good sleep.
Oh, this guy. 2 hours, man. What I wouldn't do for 2 hours.
There you go.
This guy.
But
you have a 4-month-old kid and tell me.
Sarukian is the real deal, though. He can compete with anybody at this point. And so it's going to be a tough one for Alvarez. I think that Sarukian is the definite favorite in it, but Alvarez is good. Yoel Alvarez, he can fight. He's got a good ground game. He can stay with people on the ground. He likes to be in the stand-up. So, he got that win against his last fight was against Thiago, wasn't it? Moises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looked good.
So against Moises.
Yeah, he looked good, and so, yep. Boom! Look at there.
Is there any other fights on this prelims that you're interested in talking about?
What do we got? I always like watching Jin Yu Farash and stuff, but I will tell you the one that I really think is going to be good is you got Gregory Rodriguez against Armin Petrosian, the one that Dave tried to bring up as Sarukian. I've enjoyed watching Rodriguez fight. He's a gamer, and he's tough as hell. He comes in there. He's got good stand up. He's got good ground. He's in shape. He's been impressive. He came out of LFA and stuff, but man, I'll tell you what, the dude can fight. And he's on a big win streak. He's won like his last 5 or 6 in a row. So I think the guy's fun to watch. That should be a good matchup. Petrosian's tough too.
I'm going to give a little love to Alejandro Perez, one of my teammates, so I got to give him some love too. He's extremely talented. He's fast. He's good. He's gotten better on the ground. He's got to get a little bit more comfortable on the feet. He likes to throw on the feet, but leaves himself out of position sometimes. But he's also getting better in the wrestling department, where he's been working with Carolyn Weston and with her crew of wrestlers, young talented, of wrestlers. And so I'm looking for him to make some good exchanges in terms of, I don't know much about Jonathan Martinez, but I'm looking for him to, kind of find his way. He's been kind of, Javier was gone for a little bit, then he was back, and then Turbo was around for a little bit. We call him Turbo. He was around for a little bit, so it's everywhere. But he was so good, he seemed like he fell short, a couple fights. Click on his. What was the one that, I think he lost to Uriah's kid. What was the
Which one?
Say his last name again?
Perez. What was his name?
You said he lost to you.
Yadong Song.
Yadong Song?
Yeah, he lost to Yadong Song. But then he got a win over Eduardo, but he lost to Cody Stamen right before that as well. So, look, he's talented. He's good everywhere. So I'm hoping that he's able to continue to make a good run. So he's just also such a nice guy, man. I always got a lot of love and support for these young guys that were, that were kind of coming up when I was getting towards the end. And it's like they were just good guys.
Yeah, it's because they treated you like a grandpa. They knew you were old.
Because they knew I was old. They wouldn't hit me hard. I love that. I love those ones.
Guys.
Those are the ones I talk positive about. The ones that didn't hit me hard. What other fights on here? Brahimaj versus Gilmore. Yeah. I like Brahimaj, man. Brahimaj is tough. He's aggressive. He comes forward. He's a good fighter.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about Gilmore though, John.
That's why I said,
yeah. So, all right, but look, that's gonna wrap up our coverage for this, and then look, we're gonna be traveling to Ireland. So this week, that's why we're filming this at 4 a.m. So we want to make sure you guys got a midweek show to listen to. So put some respect in the comments section, you guys. Put some respect on
that bitch.
But overall, I think I'm excited to get to the Ireland, get to enjoy the hospitality of the Irish people. I love it over there. And when we come back, we will give you the full breakdowns of all of these fights. People keep saying in the comments, people are like, hey, you guys used to break down every single fight. And I'm like, you guys, there's tons of promotions right now that are going on. You got PFL, you got one.
You got a 4-hour show?
Yeah, you got bare knuckle fighting. You've got UFC, Bellator. It's like, and then on top of the traveling, hey, we're doing the best we can. I just want to remind you guys that we're probably one of the only shows that cover all the promotions. It's like, I'm like, you guys are getting spoiled, man. You guys are getting really spoiled. But Dave, I feel like you have some.
My wife will kill me.
No, man, it's difficult.
People have no concept how many fights we watch.
It's
no concept. It's like you think, because people watch them for entertainment, and they are. Mm-hmm. But there can be a point, even for me. I love fighting. Nothing's better. Yeah. Even for me, it's like, I don't want to watch another fight right now. I don't want to watch another fight. Oh,
I need a day to myself to not watch these fights.
That's it. Yeah,
I got away from. I never got a 9 to 5 job because I didn't want to get stuck in this tedious type work. And then here we are watching fights hours after hours after hours. I'm like,
and the other part is for me is I get things all the time from commissions or referees or judges. Hey, John, will you watch this fight? Tell me what you think. Oh shit.
Yeah, but
okay.
It's not even that, John. So, like when we get home, we got to watch how our broadcast went. So I watch our fights over again to see if there was anything that we could have changed in terms of the sequence. Because when you're filming and you're as an analyst, I don't know what the transitions were until you sit home and watch it. Because it makes sense to me because I know it in the layout that they give us. But I want to see how it all comes together. So you have to watch it on TV. Otherwise, it's all broken up. Like when I'm talking, John's doing nothing. Okay.
Well, John's normally doing nothing.
John's up at the desk, but there's stuff that, like I said, there's stuff that goes on in the in-house. John can watch and listen to, whereas I can't because I'm the one in the middle of the fights talking and filling time. And so, and vice versa, when John's working, which is very
You're doing nothing.
I'm doing nothing. I'm watching the fight. I'm watching the fight because I got to talk about it, but it's a back and forth scenario. So I like to see how the broadcast all turns out. So you got to go back and you got to watch the fight, and figure out where you messed up, where you didn't. Anyways, all right, Dave, I feel like you got some news for us.
Let's go.
Yeah, so let's bounce into the big announcement that was made for Bellator. Pitbull versus McKee 2 was made official, and then we got the I don't know if you already had the date for Nemkov and Anderson, but it's April 15th.
Yes. Yeah, they're both the same night. Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
Wow. Dave, you are sharp early in the morning, aren't you?
Jeez. I feel like we need to start filming at night again because Dave is just not there in the morning.
They've announced both of these fights. Oh my God, they're on the same day. How about that?
Jeez, Dave.
I never said they weren't.
Well, just in case you didn't know the date of the Nemkov-Anderson fight, you mean the same date as Patricio?
I don't know if this one had a date because we knew this one was happening. This was a guarantee, but the rematch was not a guarantee. It was just reported. That was the point I was making.
John, I'm excited for the fight. I'm glad they announced it. I'm glad they're both on the same card because they needed to come back to San Jose. It's on a Friday night in San Jose, which is going to be even harder to get more people to turn out to. But
this is what I'm asking. I need people. You got to come out to this show because you got to prove to Scott Coker that he can put a great card together, and you will respond by coming out on a Friday, not a Saturday, in the Bay Area. It's tough for him. He didn't want to do this. He wanted to put it on a Saturday.
Yeah, the Bay Area is just tough, man. On a Friday night, the only thing that may save it is the fact that still a ton of people are working from home. But if they were working in their respective workplaces, I mean, you're stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. Doesn't matter where you work. Yep. So you got to go home, get changed, then get back while it's still traffic time.
No reason to go home. Bring your clothes that you're going to change into. Change at work right to the arena.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But I mean, a lot of people are still kind of working from home, so there might be a good opportunity, a good chance. Don't get me wrong. Even on a Friday, they're still going to sell probably anywhere between, 3/4 of the tickets. Yeah. It's just going to be hard. They may even sell it out, but it doesn't mean people are going to come. And look, this is going to be a stacked card. Aaron Pico's on this card as well. The rest of the card is stacked. I haven't looked at the rest. But everyone keeps telling me the rest of the card. You were telling me the rest of the card is stacked as well. So I just know that Pico's on it. I know that there's also a little bit of buzz that Adam Piccolotti maybe put back on this because he just had a good win over Georgie, and no damage really taken. So he may end up being on that card as well. So look, there's a lot of good fight. Kyle Crutchmer's on this card in San Jose. He fights out of AK. So there's gonna be a lot of good fights on this card. I'm pumped for it. I'm excited to see exactly, what the turnout is. Friday nights in the Bay Area are not easy. It doesn't matter if you're in San Francisco. It doesn't matter if you're in San Jose. It doesn't matter. They're not easy because of traffic. That's the biggest thing. But this is a John. Real quick.
Bridges get busy.
John, real quick. What does Patricio do differently in this fight? What can he possibly do differently in this fight?
There wasn't, let's be honest, the first fight didn't go that long. But if there was one thing that you could take away that you could see that immediately gave Patricio a problem was the speed and the size of AJ McKee, the length, and it was just the combination of he's used to working against guys that are longer than him. But when all of a sudden this guy was way faster and he wasn't seeing the things coming because he didn't even see the head kick coming. He didn't see the setup on it. And so what I think he needs to do is he likes to control the center of the cage, march out to the center, and make his opponent have to come into range. And when he comes into range, he explodes and does his thing. He's not going to be able to do that with AJ. That's not going to work for him. AJ's too good at what he does and too good at controlling that distance with his speed because he's faster than Patricio. So Patricio, in this fight, he needs to open up more. That means that, yes, he can get caught again, but he's going to have to be closing that distance and creating this dirty in the phone booth type of fight where the length and the speed is being negated by where it's taking place. He's got to make sure that the fight takes place in a range that he's taking away some of the advantages that AJ has.
Yeah, I think in the first fight, which, like you said, didn't go long, is the biggest mistake he made was he stayed right outside that range.
Yeah, which
when
you're the guy that's the slower fighter and the shorter fighter is not good for you.
And the one that doesn't have the biggest reach. That's the thing. Like AJ's reach and his speed, he was able to jump in, land the head kick, and then jump in with the combination and slide out. He actually jumped out and jumped back in because he had rocked Patricio. I think realistically what needs to happen is that Patricio needs to wrestle a little bit, I think, in the beginning. Like you said, fight him in a phone booth. I think if he wrestles a little bit in the beginning to try to slow AJ down, but AJ still keeps that speed because he's so young. We saw with the Campos fight.
We've seen it
still had a ton of speed in the second and the third round. He still had speed. Now, I think that this fight will go longer. He's just got to make sure he fights him a little bit more aggressively. I'm not saying leave himself out of position, but he's going to have to fight him a little bit more aggressive. He's going to have to take the center of the cage and try to push AJ around. I don't know how well AJ fights off of his back foot because we very rarely see it.
You don't see it a lot.
You know, and so what you've got to do is you got to get AJ to respect you right off the bat.
Brian Moore did it to him in the second round of their fight in Ireland when AJ started and he got tired. Mm-hmm. And Brian Moore put him on his back foot, and then in the third round, AJ turned it around because he's that talented and that good. But, you know, you got to take a look, and if you're Patricio, go back to that Brian Moore fight, see what Brian Moore did as far as that pressure and how it caused AJ some problems. He's a
different fighter.
Oh,
now,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's a way different fighter. But I understand what you're saying because, look, when you take somebody that is used to living off their natural athletic ability as well as they just understand how good they are, and you make them fight going backwards, they're like, hey, what's going on? They need to mentally switch it over, which he did against Brian Moore, like you were talking about.
Yep.
He has the ability to do that, and he's proven that several times in the Campos fight. You know, he tore his knee, still was able to turn it over, got to end up getting the submission, I think, in the third round. He's one of those fighters that he's not going to mentally break. You know, a lot of fighters we've seen where they hurt their knee or whatever, they just shut down. And so he's just one of those guys. He'll fight through it. He understands what's at stake. Patricio needs to put him on his back foot, needs to make him respect him by landing one or two hard shots right off the bat. If he can do that, I think it'll change the dynamic of this fight.
Yeah.
What about Nemkov and Anderson? How do you see that fight going?
See, you and I look at this fight, I think, completely different. I look at this fight as, you know, it's, first off, either guy can win. Corey Anderson is a stud. I love Corey. And his wrestling is good. His ground and pound is phenomenal. Very, very explosive from the top position with a lot of power. He's not going to just take Nemkov down. I do think that Nemkov is actually faster than him. They're both physically strong. Nemkov's a lot stronger than people give him credit for, and he maintains that speed throughout the fight as long as he is controlling the pace. Push him in the pace, put him on his back foot, and if Corey can put him on his back foot, he can create more problems for him. And so it's really that, in my opinion, who's able to dictate where this fight is going to be and at what pace and range it's going to be. That's the guy that's going to walk away with the win.
Yeah, I think Corey's got to make sure he keeps his chin tucked because he likes to throw that jab. He's got a really effective jab, but Nemkov is really good at coming around
he throws
the jab
over that
combination, just like Fedor used to. Yep. He throws that little loopy. I think Rich Franklin used to do it as well. They used to kind of just go around the guard.
He does that. He turns the hand over with that front knuckle coming over, right over that jab.
And so when you're fighting someone like that, he's got to make sure he keeps that chin tucked, behind the shoulder. If he can do that, I think Corey's got a good chance. And not just that, the wrestling's going to be a little bit more difficult. But we've seen with Nemkov, sure, he's got good cardio. He's gotten better since, fighting in was it Ryzen? or whatever. Since fighting over there in terms of controlling his conditioning, not pushing, he pushes the pace, but making sure that he rests when he needs to. But Corey Anderson's someone that just doesn't seem to get tired.
Yeah.
The longer this fight goes, he will continue to push Nemkov.
He wants it
as
to
much
be
as
in
he
overtime.
can. Yeah, he wants it. Yeah, you are right. He wants it to be in overtime. That overtime is the championship rounds. Nemkov is a stud for 3 rounds, even someone into the 4th round. But in that 4th round, if you're able to push him around a little bit, you may see Nemkov fade a little bit. This is one of those fights, man. Nemkov could knock him out. Nemkov could take him down as well. Nemkov on top will do some work. Nemkov on the bottom is not going to be the easy person to take down or stay on top of. So it makes for a fun fight. Corey could knock him out.
Yep.
Corey could take him down.
All these. Each guy could knock the other guy out. Each guy could actually submit the other guy. Each guy could be the dominant wrestler in this. You don't know, and that's what makes it such a great matchup. And that's why they're both in the finals. They're both that good. If there's one thing I'm going to say, though, Nemkov has been in against guys that wrestle and wrestle better than Corey Anderson. Okay, and he's done well. So that's why I'm saying I think the wrestling gets negated. It becomes more of that stand-up like you're talking about. Corey using that long range and that jab and trying to get it to the ground. He's going to try. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah. I guess, look, which guy would you rather see fight Gegard Mousasi?
I don't care. I really don't.
You just want to see? I always want to see Gegard fight the winner. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I would love to see Gegard fight either guy. So it's like, if Gegard gets a win against Austin, I would like to see that. If Gegard doesn't beat Austin, I don't think he should be fighting either one.
No, he won't.
So.
All right. Is there any more news?
All right. Let's go into this next story. Sticking with Bellator, and 4 days removed from the Koreshkov fight, it's made official that Paul Daley and Koreshkov will fight in London.
Oh, look at goddamn Paul Daley. You are a man. That dude is just fucking made to be a fucking warrior. I love that guy.
He's fucking awesome.
Oh, dude. All right. And you got to say why you're saying Andre Koreshkov is a fucking monster. This guy is so good in the stand-up. And so, Paul's got so much power. I mean, we said it before. Take a look at what happened in that last fight for Andre and what he did with one shot. One landed kick. He broke 5 of Chance Rencounter's ribs, poked a hole in his lung, bruised his kidney, put him in the hospital with one spinning back kick. This guy is explosive and has power, man. So when you can watch him do that to somebody and then go, I'll take you for, and because Paul's saying this is his retirement fight.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like I told you, like we talked about this the other day, Paul, right after that fight, Paul came out on his Instagram and was like, I'll take that fight. Send me the contract. I was like, oh shit. This is what happens when you give Koreshkov a voice, John. See?
I love that. Yeah.
Good things happen, my man. Good things happen.
You need to give me a voice. You don't give me voice.
we were in the fighter meeting. If you guys didn't listen to the last show, we were in the fighter meetings. Koreshkov says, I was like, hey, how come you haven't called any of these people out? Well, you're kind of getting overlooked. He's like, oh, after wins, no voice. No one giving me voice. And so we were like, all right, get a good impressive win. He got the impressive win.
He got the voice. He talked.
And then he got the fight he wanted. Paul Daley
called him out.
You are a stud, my man, because
yes, he is.
You announced that this is your retirement fight. This is not an easy retirement fight. And this is going to be one definitely for the fans. And I wish you guys both the best. I cannot wait to be there in the arena to watch this fight. I'm freaking pumped.
Yeah, that is awesome.
All right, so you guys, if you guys missed any of that, like if you guys make sure you guys tune in to watch that. If it is Paul Daley's last fight, but that fight should be just an absolute barn burner. Sadly, it won't be 5 rounds though, John.
Sadly,
it won't be.
It will
rounds.
not, because there is a championship fight that night, so that will be the main event. But I don't care. I still think that's just, you talk about explosiveness, the ability to end a fight with one shot, either guy. Come on, that's what you want, and they're gonna go.
They are.
You know Paul's going to set his feet. He's going to start throwing hard if he gets hurt. He's done it too many times in the past. I've watched him up close. When I go, I've seen all the air come out of him. You hear it. And instead of like trying to gain space and get some time, nope, Paul Daley bites down, just grunts and starts throwing. And you go, you're a bad dude, man. Because I'd be crying right now.
Well, you saw it with Hamasi when he fought Hamasi.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he got rocked, got in trouble, and then he came back and just started putting it on. That was all in the first round. Started putting it on Hamasi at the end. Hamasi gassed himself out trying to finish Daley. And then he came out in the second round, just came after him and got him out of there. I was like, holy shit, this was what a fight. It reminded me of the Nick Diaz fight when he fought Nick Diaz. Best one-round fight in history, in the MMA history. Dave, got anything else?
Last one, and it's more fight speculation. So Luke Rockhold made a comment basically indicating that he wants to return against Paulo Costa. He says, Paulo is a guy that I don't like, and I think disrespects the sport and motivates me to fucking correct it. I think it's a fun fight. I think I can go show him the door.
I mean, like, I'm not a big fan of this fight. Paulo's coming off of losses. There's not a lot of hype around him. I love the Strickland fight. The Strickland fight to me is the fight to make. I don't know why he's calling out Paulo. I mean, like, I don't know. It just, there's no reason to fight him. He doesn't.
And there's
make
no
weight.
reason if you're Sean Strickland to fight Luke.
Well, they'd already matched. I know, but they'd already matched it up.
What did Sean? Sean already went out and fought another fight against Hermanson, gets a win. Luke Rockhold is in the rearview mirror. I'm just being honest.
The UFC wants to see that fight, so it doesn't matter where the UFC. No matter, doesn't matter what Strickland says. He's already said he'll take the D.
He already said
he'll take the D. Whatever company man D is.
I'll suck that D.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. He'll take the D.
This is true.
It's just lips and butt, right? Lips and hips is what you said. That's what.
And lips are lips, and hips are hips.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Sean Strickland will take the D, let him take the D. Like, he's gonna take the L probably against, I think, Luke. I think Luke gives him the L. Which
is why you, being the homer that you are, go, I don't like this fight against Paulo Costa. I like the Strickland fight because you think that your man in Luke Rockhold has an advantage in getting a win against one over the other.
Let me ask you this, John. What Strickland has, is Strickland beat a former champion?
Has he beat a former champion?
Has he beaten a former champion?
No.
I don't think so. So what do you mean? Like, this is something. Where is Luke Rockhold? Luke Rockhold's ready. He's a former champion. Let's see you beat a former champion. Let's see if you can do it. Like with Paulo Costa, like he's coming off 2 losses. And whether you call me a homer or not, I'm a very good matchmaker, by the way.
Excuse me. How many losses is Luke coming off of?
It's true. Time away, though. Okay. Time away. Former champion. There's one thing you can't take away from people is that the fact that he can say former champion.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And I think, 3? Is it 3?
No,
2.
2.
No, he got a win in there against David Branch. He had a loss before that, too, where he lost the title.
He did.
So he lost to Bisping, he lost to Yoel Romero, and he lost to Jan Blachowicz when he went up to 205. So let me break this back down. He lost to Bisping, who was the champion, who actually beat a lot of other people after he beat
first off,
Luke.
Bisping wasn't the champion. Luke was, and Bisping had never been champion when he won that fight. In fact, Luke disrespected Bisping like a motherfucker, saying that he didn't even belong in the cage with him. I can tell you he was in the back fucking just like, this ain't shit. I'm going to walk through him.
John.
Just being honest.
I know.
It was a mindset.
I understand what you're saying. I didn't say he was the champion. Then I said he beat some other champions after he beat Luke. I said after that he went on and he won a couple more fights as the champion.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes,
you got a little hot and heavy. You got a little hot and heavy too fast, buddy.
Hold on a second. I apologize.
There it is. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you yelling at me right now? It was like I felt like we were getting I was getting a text message all in caps.
Way to go, Fish.
David Branch, he had a win over David Branch. He didn't look good against David Branch, though. Luke didn't. Remember, he got pieced up in the first round a little bit.
Yeah,
I was like, what are you doing?
But then he turned it on.
He turned it around. I know he did. He did turn it around. I get it. Then he fought Yoel Romero. Bad matchup. Power, explosiveness. And then he went up to Jan to fight Jan at 205.
Power,
but the thing is, you look at it, right? Yoel is one of those guys. It's a tough fight for everyone. Yoel's a tough fight for everyone.
Yes.
So at that time, then you look at Jan. Jan became champion right after that. Jan, he started to become champion. He made his run.
Jan was on a run.
He was on a run.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take anything away from Luke. Now you're going to tell me that Sean Strickland's fought someone as good as Yoel, someone as good as Jan?
I'm not saying that he has fought the quality that Luke has, especially if you're going to look at those last 5, 6 names. Luke's got it on him, no doubt about it. As far as who's got the credentials in better names, Luke is. That's why he was champion. But when you're sitting there looking at this and going, Paulo's got some names on his too. All right, he's got the names, and he's got to win against Yoel. Mm-hmm. And so he's got Johnny Hendricks and people like that on his resume also. Yeah, he's got the losses, the last couple. Especially the one to Izzy didn't. He just did not look good, and Izzy just took it to him. But you look at this fight, I don't think it's as bad as what you're thinking. I think yes, Luke at times gets too much into being a stand-up guy because he's slick. He's a technical fighter, and he's got beautiful kicks. He hides them well. He's got power on him, but his ground game is what made Luke Rockhold who he was. Mm-hmm. People underestimated Luke's ground continuously. It's almost like that Gegard Mousasi thing. They don't give him credit for being as good as he is, and Luke on the ground is good. That dude is phenomenal on the ground. And there's a huge difference between his ground game and Paulo Costa's ground game. So if I look at this fight, I go, this is not a bad fight for him. I understand why he's calling him out. See, I'm on your guy's side. I kind of like it. Yes, he can get knocked out by Paulo. He absolutely could. And if he decides to just keep this thing on the feet the whole time, that might just happen. But he has
get knocked out by Strickland too. He can get knocked out by Strickland.
Absolutely.
Also.
But he has a clear path to victory against Paulo Costa. He's just got to make the fight go in that direction. Is he smart enough to do it? Yes. Will he do it? That I can't say because he's a stubborn, prideful sumbitch. And he wants to prove things.
I understand what you're saying, but I think, look, if you're Luke, knowing that you're the former champion, that people can make their name off of you, and if you want to have someone that you're going to jump right into title contention, he's not getting any younger. Paulo Costa's going the opposite way. Why are you calling him out? Pick out the guy that you were scheduled to fight against Strickland.
But this is the norm. But this is the norm for the UFC is they like to take guys that have one loss or 2 losses in a row, put them together so they get one of them back on the winning side. Strickland's on a winning streak. He hasn't been beaten. And so I just don't see them going back to that fight. I think Luke looks at it the same way.
I don't know. I think put yourself in that Strickland fight because I think it's going to be a little bit easier to take Strickland down than it will be to take Paulo Costa down and hold him down. If you look at when Yoel Romero had a hard time getting Paulo Costa down and was having a hard time with the explosiveness and keeping him down. And so if I look at the fight, I look at if Luke gets Strickland down, I'm sure he's going to have a hard time. I get it. But I think he beats him. I think he beats him on the ground. I think he's able to get him down, once or twice.
I think he beats either guy on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground.
It's if he decides to keep it in the stand-up, becomes a different scenario.
But see, that's the thing to me also. I think even with Strickland will walk forward, and except for in his last fight, he will walk forward and deliver shots. He'll leave himself out of position.
Strickland was walking forward.
Not in the last fight. Remember, he stayed a little bit more on the outside. No, in his last fight, it wasn't an exciting fight, John.
You're right. He didn't march Hermanson down so much because Hermanson
didn't throw a lot
right there. He didn't throw enough, but he definitely got the win.
No, I didn't say that. Don't make me out to be the bad guy.
I'm not making you out to be the bad guy. You just are the bad guy. There's a difference.
It's all the gray in your beard. Everyone just thinks you're like Santa. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I might be like Santa anymore.
All right, Dave. Is there anything else for us?
Nope. We're gonna wrap it up.
Right. Wrap. Make sure you guys go to WayneInPodcast.com. Pick up some of our apparel. Our merch is available. We've got
Merch.
new stuff for all of you guys. We've got long sleeve shirts, hooded sweaters, coffee mugs, crew neck sweaters, which is a Dave thing. I continue to say that. All different types of
British
colored
thing.
shirts. What'd you say?
It's a British thing.
British
British
thing.
thing.
The
You're
crew neck
Scottish.
shirts are a British thing.
People,
But you're Scottish.
yeah, people love it.
But you're Scottish.
Yeah, Britain, Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not good.
Ooh.
We run this country, so
Bro, you guys haven't run shit since William Wallace was around. Calm down. Calm down. Paul Craig might be the next closest thing for you guys.
That's it.
Oh, man.
So
But we got long sleeve shirts. We got it all available in all different colors. You got maroon, gray, black, white, plus the coffee mug. We got a coffee mug in there. It says weighing in. Make sure you guys check it out. It is at weighinginpodcast.com. There is no promo code. We are offering until March 1st. We are offering a discounted price for all of our merch until March 1st. Make sure you guys pick it up before then, and the price is going to go up shortly after. We want to pump you guys up. Hopefully you guys pick it up. And if you guys pick something up, post a picture of you guys wearing it. We would love to retweet it, repost it. I want to thank you guys so much. John?
For everyone out there, go and have a great day. Do something good for somebody out there. Make their day special. And we at the Weighing In Podcast, we'll see you.